belonging to pro-Gaddafi forces on the outskirts of Benghazi. Hello from Doha, good to have you with us. I'm Adrian Finnegan. You're with Al Jazeera, also on the programme. There's been heavy fighting in the city of Benghazi, despite the promise of a ceasefire by Colonel Gaddafi. Radiation fears grow in Japan. Traces of nuclear contamination are found in Tokyo's drinking water supply. An unprecedented turnout in Egypt's first test of the transition towards democracy. Allied jets have been bombing government targets in Libya. It follows a meeting in Paris where world leaders agreed to use military force to protect the people of Libya from the country's leader, Muammar Gaddafi. French warplanes have carried out the first strike near the Libyan city of Benghazi. It's believed that more than 20 aircraft were involved in the operation. 4 tanks belonging to pro-Gaddafi forces have reportedly been hit. Now, these pictures show the jets taking off from the French airbase Saint-Dizier. So world leaders and foreign ministers from 22 nations met in the French capital, Paris, today. They discussed international military action against Libya's leader, Muammar Gaddafi's forces. Residents of Benghazi, meanwhile, have been fleeing their homes as rebel troops and Gaddafi loyalists fight to take control of the city. Queues of traffic could be seen on the road from Benghazi to Tobruk. Long lines formed at petrol stations. And earlier on Saturday, a fighter plane belonging to the rebels was shot down. It crashed into the city centre. Now, pro-Gaddafi forces also bombarded the city. Let's go live now to the opposition-held town of Benghazi. James Bays, Al Jazeera is Al Jazeera's James Bays. I'm sorry, is there, James? I'm sure you know the feeling. It's been a long day today. Any sign of that? We spoke about French military aircraft in action near Benghazi. Is there any sense of that there in Benghazi?
We're certainly not hearing any of those French aircraft here in Benghazi, but I think it's giving some relief to the people of this city who, after a long day, have had a very frightening day. It all started at dawn when there was the first bombardment of the western edge of this city by Gaddafi's forces, by his artillery and his mortars. There were tanks that came into the city. There was even small arms fire battles that took place on the edge of the city. We believe there may have even been sleeper units that have been waiting for this moment. Now, what we think Gaddafi was trying to do was to make this attack ahead of the Western allies starting their air campaign. I think what he was trying to do was to get his armour and his forces into Benghazi, where they would be very hard to hit because they'd then be in an urban area, and if any of those Western allies were to try and hit them from the air, there was the possibility that they would then cause civilian casualties. Now, what happened when Gaddafi's forces came to the western edge of this city is that they were repelled. There was opposition forces who came there and fought with them. They managed to seize some of their tanks. And the situation now is that Gaddafi's forces have moved back out of the city. And that's where I think they have been caught, some of them, by the French jets that are taken to the sky. And what we have now, the nighttime hours, I think are a great advantage to the French because they have night vision capabilities. Gaddafi's troops, we know, don't really have much ability to fight at night. We've seen in the past when they've attacked a town, they attack during the day and they retreat at night and then come back and pound it in the morning. Concern here that they will be back again at dawn, but I think the French attacks may stop that.
While you were talking, James, we were seeing pictures of that plane that was shot down in Benghazi today, which belonged, we're told, to opposition forces. Now we're looking at pictures of the French aircraft leaving for their operation over the east of the city. As you said, that Benghazi has become under sustained bombardment throughout the day. Earlier we were looking at pictures, distressing pictures from the medical centre in Benghazi, the hospital. It's clear that civilians have been caught up in all of this today.
Yeah, I think there was no doubt that there would be civilian casualties. What was launched by the Gaddafi forces was an attack on an urban area. There was absolutely no warning of the places that they were going to attack. Yes, we'd had the earlier radio address of Colonel Gaddafi, the chilling address saying that he was going to show no mercy and come house to house, room to room in this city. But then after that, we had the UN resolution from New York, and then Gaddafi's foreign minister saying that there was going to be a ceasefire. It appears that that was some sort of ruse, announced that, and no one would expect the dawn attack that was made on this city. Well, that dawn attack was, in the end, it appears, although there was a great deal of bloodshed, that was repelled, and those Gaddafi tanks, the Gaddafi artillery, all his armour is outside the city now, where it can be picked off by those French fighter jets, and that's certainly what people are hoping. They're hoping, when you speak to ordinary people here, there will be fresh strikes by the French in the nighttime hours, so there cannot be a new attack by Gaddafi's forces on Benghazi at first light.
A frightening day, a good deal of nervousness, as you said, James, in Benghazi, and I mean that nervousness extends to the media too, which explains the rather strange green hue that you have right now.
Yeah, we got a night vision camera on now, Adrian, because we don't want to put up a big light as we normally would, because it would light up where we are, illuminate our position, and we don't want to be targeted by anyone. Not taking any chances. It has been a nervous day for everyone involved. We were hearing those artillery strikes not far from us, and one mortar landed very close to our position. In fact, that was very early on in the morning, and it actually destroyed part of the car that one of the Al Jazeera teams use here. In fact, my team were about to get in that car. We were just minutes away from getting in that car, so we had a pretty lucky escape a few hours ago.
James, many thanks indeed. James Bass reporting live from Benghazi. Well, the French President Nicolas Sarkozy emerged from that summit in Paris earlier with a stern message from Muammar Gaddafi. He said the door of diplomacy will reopen when the fighting stops.
Our air forces will fight any aggression on behalf of Colonel Gaddafi against the population in Benghazi. Our planes will prevent aerial attacks on the town. Other French planes are ready to intervene against tanks who would threaten civilian people. From yesterday, France, the United Kingdom, the United States and Arabic countries have sent to Colonel Gaddafi and to the troops that he employs the following warning: in the absence of an immediate ceasefire and failing a withdrawal of the forces that have attacked the civilian population over the last few weeks, our countries will resort to military action.
Shortly after that statement from President Sarkozy, the US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton spoke to the media and said that the United States is ready to take all measures necessary to enforce the United Nations resolution on Libya.
Let me be very clear about the position of the United States. We will support an international coalition as it takes all necessary measures to enforce the terms of Resolution 1973. As you may know, French planes are already in the skies above Benghazi. Now, America has unique capabilities, and we will bring them to bear to help our European and Canadian allies and Arab partners stop further violence against civilians, including through the effective implementation of a no-fly zone.
US Defense Secretary Robert Gates has cancelled a planned trip to Russia in order to monitor events in Libya. Al Jazeera's Kimberly Halkett has more now on how the US is planning to be involved.
U.S. President Barack Obama officially signed off just a little over 24 hours ago in the Situation Room at the White House here behind me, authorizing the use of U.S. forces to play a participating and supporting role along with the Canadian, French, and UK forces to try and help protect the civilians in Libya from the forces of Muammar Gaddafi. Now, the U.S. was somewhat of a reluctant partner in all of this, and what was critical for the United States was really the indication by the Arab League and Arab states that, in fact, there would be significant Arab participation in this military intervention. As a result, the U.S. signed on, but was very cognizant of the fact that it did not want to be perceived